Happy Saturday and welcome to Take 5. I'm your host, Carla Salinas. For centuries, stained glass has been used not only for aesthetic purposes, but to tell stories. And there's a local business that has been restoring and creating stained glass for more than 20 years. Check out La Casa de Vitral.
Take Fivers, as you can see today, we're in a stained glass workshop, and we got to meet the man that restores and creates all of these beautiful stained glass windows. Let's go ahead and take a look. You may have seen stained glass windows at your local church or in homes of quirky neighbors, but the history of stained glass goes all the way back to the Gothic era, aka the 12th century. And with over 1,000 years in existence, only a few people still create stained glass windows. Meet Juan Carlos Castillo. He is one of the few Latino stained glass artists here in the state. We spoke with his wife, Jennifer Castillo, who tells us Juan Carlos learned his craft in his hometown of Guadalajara, Mexico, when he was just 12 years old.
So Juan Carlos has been in the stained glass artistry more than 30 years. He was exposed to a lot of this type of artistry and architecture. Anything and everything that is stained glass related, we do. Restore, create, anything that you can think of, that's what we do here at our shop.
This workshop in FAR is called La Casa del Vitral. Jennifer tells us they work closely with churches across the RGV and in Mexico, and will take on clients who want their stained glass restored or created from scratch.
Everything's by hand, from the design to painting some of the pieces that have human figure, to putting it together and then installing the window or the piece.
We got to see Juan Carlos and his team in action, where he's currently working on a mosaic piece only using recycled stained glass from older windows. He says the project will take him about 8 months to finish, but it'll be worth the wait.
The limit does not exist, of course. Anything, measurements you want to bring in, we can make it happen. Of course, there's a lot more complexity when it's a bigger, larger project. However, it can be done. So there's no can do when it's about stained glass.
Every piece that is created will get sketched, stenciled, cut, and painted by hand, and put together to create a timeless piece. They also restore older stained glass windows that are actually on display at the Gelman Museum in San Juan. Jennifer says her husband works long hours to get his pieces ready for his clients.
Seeing the final product and seeing the face he has when seeing the final product just brings me so much joy, and I just feel like, oh my gosh, really, like, this is happening. Like, he made something so beautiful out of an idea.
Now, after watching this process, I can appreciate this art form so much more. Did you know the number of steps it took to make these beautiful pieces? Well, now you know someone is creating these windows right here in our home. For Take 5, I'm Trista Castillo.
Welcome back to another Take 5 Off. Today we have Reina's Barbecue in the house, and I am here with owner Zeke Reina. Okay, Zeke, I know you're giving our viewers a very special discount offer. Can you kind of tell us about this offer?
Absolutely. Good morning, and thank you for having Reina's Barbecue and Cuisine on your show.
Good morning. It's good to see you.
Absolutely. So we have a 15% discount from now until April 12th. The QR code is Take 5. You can get that on reinasbbq.com in addition to in our store. And you show cashier 1 or cashier 2 and or the drive-thru, and you'll receive 15% discount from now until April 12th.
Perfect. All right. Well, before we get started, because I know you brought a lot of things for us today.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, I did want to tell you how much our office here in Weslaco loves Reina's Barbecue. We go all the time because it's kind of close by. And I remember, you know, I would get like the bowls, like the fajita bowls, and everybody would be like, oh my gosh, what is that? That looks so good.
No, absolutely.
So we love you guys already. So let's go ahead and get started. I want to start with our fajitas over here. So you got to tell us about your fajitas, because I know that they're really special and a top seller.
Yes, absolutely. So we just added the fajita, part of our Tex-Mex menu, which started May of last year.
Y'all brought some brisket for us.
We did.
some ribs for us. Tell us about this over here.
Yeah, of course. You can see we have our ribs in the front. Right in the middle, we have our baby back. You'll see the caramelization on there. On the left-hand side, you'll see our spare ribs. It's a little bit bigger bone, but yeah, they're both very good sellers, in addition to, of course, our brisket.
One thing that I love about Reina's Barbecue is that you guys have a little bit of everything. You mentioned that Tex-Mex. I'm seeing some salsas. Not what you would think when you think barbecue.
We have a little bit of our fajita salsa, a little bit of our red salsa. We have our breakfast. It's a little bit more subtle. So it goes, as you well know, we added our breakfast. So we're open from 6:30 to 10:30. And we have also our green salsa, which gives a little extra kick. So those that like a little bit more spice.
Another thing that I really love about you guys is that everything is homemade and it tastes homemade. There's a reason for that, isn't there?
Absolutely, absolutely. Regarding our tortillas, we wanted everything made fresh in the store because we wanted everything that we do to connect to the social fabric that is the Rio Grande Valley. So for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, we have someone making tortillas. So all our proteins that go into our breakfast tacos, that's the actual protein that we serve for our lunch and for our dinner. So there's some congruency there.
If that wasn't enough, you guys also have catering services for those of you that have an event coming up. So make sure that you take advantage of that as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. We could cater like a full wedding where we have chauffeurs, and or we could drop off to any location, whether it be a business or school. We can go ahead and drop off in our big catering trays, and we can do that off a drop of a hat. Absolutely.
Now you guys have 2 locations, one here in Westlake, one in Harlingen, and another one coming up?
Another one coming in McAllen. We're going to be off of 10th in Wisconsin in McAllen, and God willing, we'll be open in August, September of this year.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Zeke, and for giving our viewers a very special discount offer.
No, absolutely. And thank you for the viewers out there. I hope you all have a blessed day. And Carla, and on behalf of all your staff, thank you for having Reina's Barbecue Cocina here this morning. We appreciate it very much, and thank you for your continued support, of course.
Thank you, Zeke. You guys make sure that you take advantage of that 15% off. You have until April 12th to do so. You won't regret it. We're taking you back in time with the producer who has worked with local Freddie Fender. Take 5's Trista Castillo has the story.
Hey everyone, as you can see, I'm in a recording studio. I'm actually at CHR Records, about to record my first single. Let's hit it, Rick. Okay, you probably don't want to hear any of that, but let me tell you how I got here. If you've seen Take 5 every weekend, you probably remember Rick Garcia. We met him a few months ago at the Conjunto Museum in San Benito. Rick is a producer and worked with the Conjunto artists back in the 70s and produced for the likes of Tony De La Rosa and San Benito native Freddie Fender. We caught him in a session with an artist, but he sat down with us about his time in the music industry.
But I started as a young musician at the age of 15 in a garage band. I played guitar and I wrote songs, and I was actually a lead singer, if you can believe that. And we saved up enough money to go to a local Corpus Christi studio and do our recording. Back then we went and recorded. They made us the 45s. I don't know if a lot of people know what 45s are these days, but we went into the local top 40 radio. He heard it, he said, I like it, he played it, and we had a top 40 hit, and it was great. And the more I hung out in that studio, and then I watched the pioneers, the really talented guys work, but I got to see what they did, and I'm thinking, God, these guys are so incredibly talented.
Rick says when he produced for many artists in Corpus, he decided to open up a recording studio with his brother. Then in 2018, he launched a new record company called CHR Records, where he works from his home studio, a much different look from back then.
But back then, it wasn't that way. You would have to drive hundreds of miles to get to a studio. It didn't take all that room because the computer has everything in it and some. Every kind of echo chamber, every kind of compressor, every kind of reverb, digital delay.
Today, him and his artist Hilda Lamas are in a recording session.
Pero viejo no aprende truco nuevo, aunque digas que conmigo no es igual.
Hilda just released the song you're hearing now. She says working with Rick is amazing because he has so much insight on the industry.
When I first started working with Rick, I had 0 studio experience. Over the years, I've been able to help co-produce. I co-produced my blues album, so it kind of gave me a little bit more insight to kind of what he's looking for, what he does, and I think it's helped my ear, most definitely. So my ear has gotten a lot more training, but Our studio sessions are fun, they're quirky. I've learned a lot over the years from him. And it's just, I don't know, it's just a great experience, especially when you have that bond with your producer. And I think that's important for anybody who's recording.
But a lot has changed in the music industry today. Conjunto music still lives on in the Rio Grande Valley, but not as much as it used to. There are so many new artists that are emerging from the Rio Grande Valley, like Grupo Frontera. For Rick and Hilda, they say it's great.
It was just this energy and the musicians here and the talent that the Valley has. It's amazing.
At the time of recording, Rick said 6 of his artists are actively recording and touring. Hilda is about to go on the road as well with her band. And it's true that times have changed, but the RGV will still be singing and creating music in the future. For Take 5, I'm Trista Castillo.
When Take 5 returns, we're teaching you how to cook an easy appetizer for Easter. We cook with Chef Diego coming up next. If you're looking for a fun activity this weekend that involves food, then you might want to check out Diego's cooking class. Here's a preview of what you can experience.
All right, so we're gonna start with the first course, the appetizer. What are we gonna do?
The cherry tomatoes.
Yum.
So it's a really roasted cherry tomato dish. It'll all work. As long as you got a really hot surface, as long as you hear that sizzle.
We hear it.
Yeah, that's what you want.
So what did we just do? Is it a cup of tomatoes? It's
Just a nice amount.
a nice amount.
Yeah,
Okay, how many do you think's in here, Diana? So,
I don't
so
know,
we can kind
maybe
of
like
make sure
half a
everyone knows.
pound?
Fill up.
Maybe?
If anything, fill up your pan with the tomatoes.
And we're not all pros, so we're not all gonna touch them the way you're touching them.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
how would we mix them ourselves?
So grab your wooden ladle, and then you want to get that like burnt look, but all throughout the tomato. But we're giving them color.
Okay.
Now that we've charred up the tomatoes, we're gonna char up some of the chopped up garlic and onion.
Okay.
You want to turn the temperature down, make sure it's kind of low. So 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons.
2 tablespoons. Okay, we're gonna go for a third.
3 tablespoons. So I'm just gonna kind of mix it up, make sure it all kind of is touching the surface of the pan.
How long does this take?
You can be quick with it,
Okay.
and it'll come out in like 5-10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, so we added the garlic and the onion. It's looking nice and golden.
Yes.
It's nice and charred.
It smells so good. It smells like pasta.
It's you're
Yeah,
kind of
right?
making like a cool little pasta sauce. We're gonna throw in our broth in there to make it like nice, and now we're gonna turn it back up just to get it boiling. And then at the same time, I'm gonna just crush some of these, make it nice and good. So by squishing these tomatoes, you're kind of helping those juices from the inside kind of mix in with the broth, and then the garlic and onion.
Right.
Right now what we're doing is we're reducing the broth.
Okay.
As you reduce it, you kind of concentrate those flavors, and they just, they get stronger, they get more concentrated. We're serving it with bread, but you can serve it with, you can boil up your favorite kind of noodle.
Okay.
So we're just gonna,
The Diego way.
yeah, just
sprinkling some salt
put a
on
little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. Salt and pepper, super important. We just spiced it, and now as it's reducing, we're just gonna come in and herb it up. Yeah, join the cooking class. It's a very hands-on experience, and I'm just guiding you as you do this, exactly.
Yes. We're doing a great job.
Solid, yeah. You don't have to do butter.
Well, we want to do butter.
But I want to do butter too.
Butter goes great and everything.
Yeah. So you just throw a little bit on there. I mean, al gusto, right?
Yeah.
You just
So we used about 4 little cubes.
so.
Okay, so are we done?
We're done.
We're done.
Yay! You did a great job.
Good job. We did it.
We did it.
Broth, juiciness on the bread. Leave some of those whole ones. Put some of those crushed tomatoes in there.
All right,
Oh my
you guys
gosh.
ready?
Yes.
Okay, yes.
Enjoy.
All right,
Cheers.
Yay.
We did good.
We did amazing,
Yeah,
Heather.
you're hired.
Yes.
Calling all parents of toddlers, there's a program helping with free education. All the details are coming up right after this break. Plus, meet this week's cutie. Our pet of the week is coming up next.
The following segment is supported by Hidalgo County Head Start.
The Hidalgo County Head Start program is a nonprofit organization that provides educational opportunities to students who may be at risk. Today we're talking all about this program with Commissioner Mr. Ever Villarreal. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mr. Villarreal.
Thank you for the invitation, and we'd love to be here.
So this program is so vital in our community. Can you tell our viewers a little bit about why?
Well, especially in the western part of Hidalgo County, we have a lot of families that are below the poverty rate. So it's very important. You know, this is exactly what it says it is. It's a head start. You know, children anywhere from 3 to 5 years old can take advantage of getting a head start on their education. And it also gives our parents a chance to interact and go to work. You know, they don't have to spend, so they can take care of their children. They can bring them to school and they get a head start on their education. And not only their education, but their health, their well-being, and the nourishment is extremely important here at Head Start.
Commissioner, some of the families that you serve do live in rural areas. You know, how will this program help people have access to this program?
Yes, you know, we're committed here in Precinct 3 to make every Head Start accessible to our residents in the western part of Hidalgo County. But not only that, but also take advantage of other programs that the county has. So it's important for us to also use Head Start to let our families know what is available, and they need to take advantage. So it's about creating unity and helping out our families in our precinct.
Commissioner, what do you hope for the future of this Hidalgo County Head Start program?
I have learned that a lot of our alumni are a product of Head Start. And I have a lot of friends that I did not know that they were products of Head Start, and they have master's degrees that got educated, and it's just amazing the impact that Head Start had with them. And it's just creating a very positive environment in our whole county. I don't see it just only helping our children, but helping our parents. And they are the key here so that their children can be successful.
Commissioner, for parents that do want to enroll their student into a program like this, where can they go to?
They can come to our office here at 724 Breyfogle and ask questions, and everything is online. And let me tell you that enrollment is very easy. You just need to either log in, or we can help you in our offices anywhere in Hidalgo County.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Commissioner. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
For more information, visit hchsp.org or call 956-383-0706.
It's time for another pet of the week, and we have her right here. This is Brownie. As you can see, she is really tiny. She's actually only 7 weeks, and she is a Dachshund mix. So she is looking for her forever home, and she is looking for someone who's just gonna squeeze her and shower her with so much love. That could be you. The number that you see on your screen is gonna get you to the Weslaco Animal Care Services, where she and so many other animals are waiting and looking for their new forever homes. So make sure you call that number. For Take 5's Pet of the Week, I'm Millicent Olivares.
Not sure what you should do tonight? Maybe cheering on the Valley G League sounds like fun. How you can join in on the fun coming up next.
The following segment is supported by the Bird Ogden Arena.
The RGV Vipers season is almost over, but there is still time to make it on to the courtside if you haven't been. And joining us today is Juanita Maldonado to talk to us all about what you can expect. Thank you so much for joining us,
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so what have we learned so far about the last season?
Oh my goodness. So last season, what happened is we made it into playoffs last minute, last game. We ended up with the 6th seed, and then we actually made it all the way to the finals to have our 7th finals appearance. So we're one of the most successful teams in the G League, especially with the 4 championships that we carry. So we learned a lot. We learned that when it comes to down to last minute, hey, we got to take it with what it is, because that's just how the basketball world is and the sports world in general. Sometimes you get thrown things left and right, and our team is very good at taking those hits and prevailing.
Absolutely. Hey, speaking of last minute, for those people that haven't made it out to a game, this is a very crucial one to attend. Is that right?
Yes. So we're trying to make a playoff push. It seems like it's a repeat of last year as well, trying to make those playoffs. So it's a very crucial game. We want as many fans as possible to attend. I know our last season, when we had our last game, we had over 6,000 fans in attendance. So we want to be able to replicate that. We want to have more than 6,000 fans. Our arena fits over 9,000 people. So we want to fill up every seat that we possibly can, because the support of the community is very important. Our coaches and our players always say that the best fan base that they have ever seen is here in the Rio Grande Valley, which is astonishing, because you have these players that play overseas, play around the United States. So for us to be coveted with that title is absolutely incredible, to just know that we have some of the best fans in the world, and why not bring them out to the arena and show that support?
Yeah, we definitely got the best fans in the world. Hey, and it's kind of an experience too. I mean, you go out, you have some food, you drink some drinks, and there's some giveaways too.
Yes, there's so many things going on. So we have the game, which is the primary thing, but we also have other things that are equally as important. For example, usually to the first 500 fans or first 1,000 fans in attendance, we like to have giveaways for them. So that's no exception in this game as well. And then during the game, we also have our entertainment teams, our Venom Hype Squad, our Snake Charmers. They have excellent performances with top talent, caliber team. They have people who go and dance for NBA teams, for NFL teams. So that's amazing, because you get that here in the Rio Grande Valley. And then we have our schools that like to come out and support, the cheerleading groups, the hip hop dance teams. There's so much going on. Our band members, they also come out, our drum line. So there's a lot going on during the game, and it's just fun for all ages. So we want to encourage everyone to come out and just have some fun.
So Juanita, where can people get some tickets?
Yes, so you can visit our website, www.rgvipers.com, or even visit our Instagram page or Facebook page as well, RG Vipers. We always have a lot of giveaways going on.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today,
Thank
Juanita.
you for having me.
Make sure you make it on out to the Bird Ogden Arena to support our RGV Vipers, and good luck to you guys. Thank you so much for spending your Saturday morning with us. Join us tomorrow morning as we get ready for the solar eclipse, and we'll see you guys tomorrow at 10:30.